Update. I went out of my way to make my brother's wife feel bad about herself. Just a small update from my last post. I ended up talking to my brother. We hadn't really spoken at all since my blow-up, and I wanted to have an actual conversation, hoping that we might be able to move past everything. I wasn't expecting it to be a fun conversation, but it somehow went worse than I'd expected. But first, I want to clarify a few things that came up in my first post. My sister-in-law Sil doesn't like me because my brother and I got into an argument not long after they started dating. I don't remember what it was about or what was said. This was in 2015. But she ended up getting involved, and we've disliked each other ever since. It's also important to note that I'm not the only one she does this to. She has a lot of trouble keeping friends because of it. She just amped it up with me after my weight gain. I feel like I made it sound like I just sat around meekly while she bullied me. This wasn't really the case. Boundaries are very important to me, and I try to make my expectations for how I allow people to treat me clear. This wasn't always the case, but I've worked hard to learn to advocate for myself. At first, I would make it clear that the jokes she made, even before the weight comments, were not okay. But she would always just laugh or insist that I was just being dramatic. Because I had no one to back me up, I eventually gave up and tried to change the subject whenever she was being rude. I have always been an extremely sensitive person, and I feel guilt and shame very deeply, even when it's not my own. In this case, it obviously was. I can make people angry all day and not be bothered, but I can't stand hurting or embarrassing someone. I think this is why it took me so long to realize how bad what I was doing was, because up until I made her cry, I had only really gotten a glare or an eye roll. Now getting into my conversation with my brother. It started with him saying that I really hurt her feelings, and I told him, I know, that's why I apologized. He just said that I shouldn't have said it in the first place, and he wishes that she and I could just get along. We went back and forth for over an hour, with the majority of the conversation being him dismissing my feelings. I asked him why he felt it was okay for her to treat me the way she does, but not for me to return her energy. He once again said that she doesn't mean the things that she says. He said that I wasn't actually obese or anything that she said, and I know how self-conscious she is about her body. I felt like I couldn't breathe when he said that. I mentioned before that no one in my family ever actively said anything about my eating disorder, but they knew. He knew how hard gaining weight was on me. Growing up, he and my sister would always encourage me to eat more. It was never addressed beyond that, but they were the only ones that ever really seemed to care. But he still defended her when she would mock me. I make one mean comment, and he jumps to her defense because she's self-conscious. I was completely stunned. All I could do was cry. I just said, "What the *CK ever," and hung up. I did find out that she would be at Thanksgiving, but I probably won't go either way. Talking about this situation has made me realize a lot of things, and I think I need a break from my family in general. I'm having so many conflicting emotions right now, and I don't know how to even begin processing them. It's become so much more than me feeling ashamed of what I said. I'll post an update if anything comes up. But as far as my Sil goes, I've ray-blocked them both, and I'm just going to do what a lot of people suggested and leave the situation as it is. So this is probably it.